How's it going, everybody? This is Detailed Dale. In this haircut tutorial, I am going to be doing what we call a defluffing. Right now he's extra fluffy, and so we're going to defluff him. This is my son Gabriel. We're going to put like a super crispy edge up on him and a super tight taper right here in this area. And in the back right here, it's going to be a super tight. And then he's letting all this grow out, but I'm going to shape it up and make it look real nice, so that way when it does grow in nice and even. And like I said, we're gonna defluff Gabriel, just really bust him down. We're gonna get those curls activated. This is gonna be done by giving him what we call the Jayson Tatum haircut. And if you don't know who Jayson Tatum is, he is like one of the premier small forwards in the NBA. He's with the Boston Celtics, and the guy is a top-notch NBA player. Check it out and let me know what you think. So these are the clippers that I will be using. I'll be using the Andis Nation, Andis Copper Gold Pro Foils. I'll be using the Andis Slimline GTXs, Cordless Masters, the Andis Nation Slimline Pros, the Andis Outliners, and my Matakki scissors, and my Matakki razor. Okay, so now that y'all know what tools that we're going to use, we're going to go ahead and get them all draped up and get them cleaned up here in the back, removing the loose hairs off with the Slimline Pros around the nape of his neck. And then we're going to follow them up with the Andis shavers to get it really nice and smooth back here. Just cleaning off the neck. It's like one of the first things that I do in getting a haircut started. We're going to start with tapering out the back. I'm using like a number 3 with the lever all the way up, going against the grain, but not going above that occipital bone. I got my taper comb here with me, and we're just going up about 2 inches, but below the occipital bone. Now I got my Andis clipper comb, and I'm just doing a clipper over comb method here in the back. As you can see, just removing basically all the bulk. Removing all that bulk back here in an upward slant-like motion. The comb is not flat against his head, it's going outward, and we're going upward. Now we're getting ready to start blending them out. Now I got the Andis Nations fade clippers going upward, about a 1/2 inch. The lever is all the way up. Remove any excess hair, as you can see. Now I grab my zero attachment, and I'm going about a 1/2 inch upward above that. So now essentially I have 2 lines that I'm going to knock out here that's in the back. Keeping the taper pretty low back here. Again, I'm going right back to my Andis Nations fades, and we're just knocking that bottom line out, as you can see. And I started from the right and just worked my way over to the left. I'm using the Andis clipper brush to remove any excess hair back here. So now I got the 1.5 guard with my Andis Masters going upward against the grain. Still staying below that occipital bone, creating another line. Then I will grab my 1 attachment and knock that bottom line out that was created by the 1.5 attachment. Staying low back here in the back, again below the occipital bone. He doesn't really want a high taper in the back, he just wants it to be low and short. So now I got my Matakki blending shears, removing any dark lines or any weight back here to finish out the back. As you can see, there's some lines right there. And blending shears are the secret to removing any lines or excess bulk or dark patches in the hair. Blending shears is that secret to do that, to take that out. Now that we got the back tapered out, I'm gonna start tapering out on the left side. And I'm using my 1.5 attachment on his temple at an angle. And the angle kind of goes in a ramp-like motion on each side. Now I'll turn them around real quick to do the other side because this is real important. You want both of the sides to match. So now I got my Andis clipper comb, and I'm doing a clipper over comb method to remove any excess bulk because he just wants that tight temple taper on the side, but he doesn't want it to be high because you still want that afro shape, that afro curly shape that we're going to give him. Clipper over comb, clipper over comb. And I'm going around his ear too, as you can tell. His ear is out of the way. And now I've grabbed my number 2 attachment and removing any excess bulk along the bottom. And I'll go with the grain downward, still staying below that occipital bone in the back, and with the grain downward on the right side. So now I got my Slimline Pros, and I'm starting to bald him out right there at the temple on the right side. And then I turn him to the left side and do the same thing. Now sometimes I would just go ahead and blend out that one whole side, but no, because I want both sides to be even, then I'm going back and forth. I got my shavers now on the right, now my shavers on the left. Now I'm using my Andis Nation fades, going upward, knocking out that beard part right there. Got the lever turned all the way up where we can get that bald, going right into that real short part on his beard and also in his taper. So now I'm blending out with my Slimline Pro, starting with his beard. You can see that little line in there. We're going to take it out, and then we're going to take out his taper line too, right there at the very, very bottom. Real nice and easy. And I got the Andis clipper brush, as you can see. And this Andis clipper brush is good. It's multi-purpose. It's a multi-purpose brush. That's all I can say. So now I got my 0 attachment, and I'm blending his beard in, and I'm gonna go up into his temple and start blending that out as well with the 0 attachment. And the lever is all the way up too, by the way. Now we're on the left and doing a 0 attachment in his beard and in his temple. And that's what gives it that beautiful blend. So now I took the attachment off and I'm just working just with the blade here on the clipper. And I'm adjusting the lever as I go. Sometimes it's halfway, sometimes it's not. And as you can see, I'm going from different attachments. Now I got the number 2 attachment. I'm going in an upward motion on the left side. Now I'm on the right side going in an upward motion. Because we want this taper to be really tight, but not high. Just right around his temple area, blending right into his beard. So now I got my number 1 attachment, and I'm just working that line out in an upward motion, adjusting the lever on the side accordingly. And also going downward with my beard. I feel like his head is like my canvas, and I'm just creating some serious art here. So now I got the number 3 attachment, and I'm blending out that number 2 line. Going back again to my number 1 attachment and blending out that secondary line here on the left side. Now notice how I go in with my Matakki scissors, and I'm coming at a point. I'm point notching taking that bulk out. Now I'm going back to my blending shears. So now I got my Matakki sharks I'm using for that extra bulk that's up there at the top, just to make sure that everything blends right down smooth. So now I'm going around his left ear with my Slimline Pro GTXs. And these are the newest and the hottest edgers that Andis have out right now. And they are powerful and in demand. Some wonderful, wonderful edgers. And we're putting that front line in, just combing his hair down, not going back into his hairline. But you just constantly have to keep combing that hair down in order to get that line crisp across the front. Don't really want to press too hard because these clippers are almost zero gapped. Now I'm going around his ear, and I got my taper comb here with me to comb down any excess hair. So I got my Matakki razor here, removing any excess hair around the edges. Using that razor all the way around. Trying to make this haircut as flawless as possible. So you're probably wondering, like, why did I use that razor on him and then follow up again with another razor using lather this time around? Basically, I want to soften his beard, get it really, really nice and soft. Sometimes you can see hairs that when they're dry, better than when the hair is wet. And so that's why I did it that way. I didn't want to miss anything. I want to make sure that Gabriel is super crisp. That's why I got this hot towel on him. I'm going to run some beard softener in his beard while it's really nice and soft and damp. And he's getting a 2-towel treatment. We want to make sure we hit all areas, underneath his neck, at the top. He's very, very relaxed. He got his hair shampooed earlier, so we're just going to rinse that off here in a second. Here we are going back with the Matakki razor, and it's hitting all them hairs off. Put a nice little edge on his beard. And this Surizu razor is super, super sharp. You can use it when after the skin is softened up. You can use it when with the skin not even being soft, and it'll cut super close. Now I'm going back to the Slimline Pros around his neck, removing any excess hair at the bottom. It's extremely uneven, but we're going to get it even. This young man was well due for a haircut. I'm so glad that he's here visiting his old man. I'm gonna make sure that he leaves super crisp, make him presentable again. So we're combing that hair down underneath his neck. Any excess hair, I could easily use clippers to remove that excess hair, but I use a razor instead. So like I said earlier, we're just going to rinse his hair down. He shampooed his hair earlier. Get his hair back to its natural, soft, curly state. put in some of this wreck and bruise here. Not only does it look good, it smells good, and it performs good. You want to rub it through your hands all over. Make sure it's all in your palms, on the tips of your fingers, and just rub it through like so, all over. When his hair is damp. It's good to use pomades in the hair when the hair is damp, and it's good to use like the clays when the hair is dry. It all depends on what type of look and results that you're looking for. So here's the finished product. He's got a tight edge up, no enhancements. This is the Jayson Tatum Boston Celtics superstar haircut.